Alright guys, so welcome to the second developer update for Corona MotorSport. It's been about 9 months since I posted the last update, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably wondering what's going on with the game, and why is it taking so long for this to actually be finished and published. And the real explanation for that is I'm not good at time management, but also there was a lot of things that I've had to continuously fix, and there were things where I'd be done with them and I'd look at them and be like, you know what, no, this is not good. Let me just start from scratch and re-implement these features over and over again. And it's kind of like a cycle, honestly, but I can't say that I'm actually pretty close to finishing. So what I did was I went ahead and created a Trello board. For those of you who don't know what Trello is, it's basically like a Kanban list thing where you can, just put different tasks up and organize your things. But so basically, I'll go ahead and go over this. So there's a doing section, a done section, a to-do, and some things that are postponed and unscheduled. These don't really pertain to this update. This is just stuff that I want to deal with at a future point in time. Well, I'll go over those a little later. But yeah, so we'll go over to the doing section. So right now for the game, this is definitively what's left. So we have AI set up for Barcelona and Monza. So the thing is, these are pretty much already set up, but they're still in the doing section because there's some things I still need to tweak with the AI system. Removing deprecated assets, that means getting rid of assets that are wasting storage space and increasing build times. So that's nothing too major. That's kind of something I'll do towards the end. Performance optimizations. This is running on a new graphics pipeline, so you're going to need a high-end computer to run this game. I'm on a GTX 1660 right now, and it's getting a solid 60 to 80 FPS usually. It kind of dips in the main menu a little bit, but I'm working on that. We also have to fix some skid mark particles on some of the cars. For some reason, those are not working. And the release trailer, which is actually almost done. I've recorded a lot of parts that I need to record, and I'll be publishing that hopefully at some point this month. I'll keep you guys updated on that. And then this done section here, this is kind of everything that's been, well, this is not really everything, but this is most of the stuff I could think of from the time span of the last alpha version, which was, that was like summer of 2018, I think it was released. So it's been a pretty long time since I've actually released an update, which is, it's kind of sad, but it's fine. So yeah, there's a lot of things here, and honestly, it may not seem like a lot, but a lot of these specific things, they take up a lot of time, like days and weeks at a time, just for one of these cards to be done. But I'll go over some of the more recent ones that I ended up completing. So this one will probably interest a lot of people. This is the XML vehicle configuration model. So I've noticed in the past, a lot of people have asked what happened to the configurable cars, because there was like a debug menu that I forgot to take out in one of the old versions of the game, where you could just kind of change like camber, suspension, all kinds of stuff. I went ahead and put that back in, and to make it even better, users can actually load and save custom configurations, so each time you restart the game, it'll remember what you picked. So I'm just going to drag this window in right here. So this is in the app data folder of your computer. So if we look at the full path here, yes, it's an app data local low, and it's going to be Lucas Game Studios, Corona MotorSport, and vehicle configurations 1-0-0. That represents the current configuration version for the game. So I'm not too good with asset management and kind of planning ahead for the future. So I'm hoping this will kind of be a foolproof system, so with each major update, I'm going to kind of change the folder path for configurations, so, something that may have worked in this version might not work in the next version, so we'll have a clean slate thing. And then also internally, there are default configurations that are stored and cannot be edited, so if you screw something up, you can just reset it, and it'll be fine. But here, I can go ahead and open up one of these. Let's see, let's pick... Yeah, let's open up the Ryzen GTX. I don't know why this launches Internet Explorer, but we're just going to go with it. So a lot of these things aren't really directly editable in The game itself, I'll get to that once we actually start playing the game, but this is basically a full configuration file for the vehicle, so you can change several parameters related to the engine, the transmission, clutch, differentials, axles. You can change different things with the wheels, brakes, assistance, aerodynamics, and a couple other dimensions things. But realistically, you don't want to edit these files because you might not know what you're doing. So I'd recommend, if you want to tune the vehicles, you should do so in game. If you do screw something up, you can reset it, but that's my warning for that. So yeah, there's that. We also switched over to Fmod for the audio engine. So a majority, I'd say about 99% of the audio now is running on Fmod. So that led to a lot more realistic sounding vehicles, and honestly it sounds way cooler in my opinion than the original system I had. But yeah, that took a while to set up, but that should, in addition to sounding better, that should give a pretty good performance enhancement, because the previous audio system was not very efficient, and it kind of taxed the CPU. So we've done away with that. And then let's see what else here. Steering wheel support, I mentioned that in an earlier update. You can't really see it with the camera here, but I do have a Logitech G29 set up here, and I'm going to show you guys how it works. So I haven't exactly set up the H shifter yet, so if you want to do manual transmission for now, it's paddle shifters. I'm hoping I can get that to work before I release this update. It's not really too complicated to do, really. It's just I already added a check in the config file to make sure the car can actually support the H shifter, so if it's 6 speeds or less, you can use it. But there's just a few more lines of code I have to write for that. What else here? The RDS vehicle management system. So the AI in this game, pretty not so great track record. So I had to basically write a whole bunch of one massive script, a whole bunch of overrides for the AI system, and I've switched a lot of things over to my custom code instead of using the encrypted compiled DLLs that come with the package. Actually, at some point, I'm hoping I can replace this with my own AI solution. I mentioned that in the previous video, I think, but it's my graduation project for college. So basically, it's going to have to get done at some point, so I can at least guarantee you that you'll probably see it in this game at some point. But it's a machine learning implementation for racing AI. So basically, these things will be much more intelligent than the system that we have now, which is just hard-coded. This thing will teach itself how to navigate the course as fast as possible and present as much a challenge of the user as possible. So yeah, that's still under development. I haven't really done much work on it this summer because I've been busy with Corona MotorSport. But yeah, so I'm thinking somewhere at the end of fall, winter, it might be ready. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. I might do a separate series on that. But yeah, we set up some more cars, we set up tracks, fixed lighting, did a lot of other things. I don't know, we finally have a pause menu working. One caveat here is there's a thing that checks if you're using a game controller or not, and it'll switch the input to strictly the game controller, and I might have to disable that for the racing wheels, because, I mean, feasibly, it's not really so great to navigate through UI with a racing wheel, so I might just override that to mouse and keyboard. But for this build, you're going to notice that it's a little clunky, but yeah, let's see, what else here? Let's see if I mean, that's pretty much all the main things. Yeah, and then there's also a to-do section here. So the AI setup for the Dubai circuit, that's not going to take too long to do, because once I have, these two kind of padded down, it's a simple matter of just, well, here's a different set of waypoints, use the same code, and there you go. But yeah, the UV banding issues in Monza and Dubai, I don't know why those are happening. I think it has something to do with file compression. We can deal with that at some point. An intro sequence, that's just putting my logo in the intro. I mean, that's no big deal if that doesn't really go through. Credits section, that's not going to take long either. Fixing holes in all the circuits. Honestly, I cannot guarantee I'm going to find all of them, so I know you people are going to find a way to break the game as hard as you possibly can, and honestly, go for it, because it's going to help me out in the long run. But there's also a crash issue with having a G29 wheel in Unity. It doesn't happen too often, honestly, but it's a possibility. I don't really know how to fix that yet. That's something that's kind of out of my control at the moment. But I can confirm the game works pretty well with the G29. I haven't set up any inputs for other wheels yet, so I can't guarantee those are going to work. But if you have a G29 and you have the drivers installed, it'll work. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this Trello board at the moment. So I might as well just fire up the latest version and show you what I got. So let's see. So this one, this was just a test production build that I did on July 19th. So that's pretty recent. I haven't really made any builds in the past couple days because I've been working on the trailer, but yeah, let's fire this up. All right, so this is the July 19th, 2021 production build test. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and show you guys what's new. So I added some new main menu music. So there's a couple songs that'll kind of cycle back and forth. So if you guys know any good songs, anything royalty free, just let me know. Drop them down in the comments, and I can probably add them in. So yeah, just let me know. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. So one thing you notice that's new is that there's actually a settings menu this time. So we have a control section. This is kind of just display only at the moment for people who don't know how to play the game. But in the future update, maybe the next one, I'll probably have the option to rebind controls for keyboard and joysticks, and even racing wheels if you want. But yeah, there's that. Also, another thing to note, I might have mentioned this earlier, I'm actually navigating this menu right now with the racing wheels, so it's a little clunky, and I kind of want to just override this to keyboard input for the settings menu and any kind of menus or UI, so that'll probably change before I release it. And we also have this visual section here. So with the HD render pipeline, there's not really many settings you can change in real time without actually modifying the files. And even me as a developer, I don't have really full control over a lot of things. So this game's performance requirements have definitely increased since the last version, but at the same time, it's running a little more smoothly, and the graphics quality gain is immense. So, yeah, so right now it's running on medium quality on my computer, and it's just under 50 in the menu right now, frames, just because I have OBS and a bunch of other things open. But you can change the VSync as well, the resolution, and whether or not you want to be in full screen. So let's go ahead and pick a car just to mess around with. So we're going to do the VX Storm, and we're going to choose that color. And here's where we come into the vehicle settings menu. So this is brand new because a lot of people wanted, modifiable settings. So you can toggle your different assistances here, and then you have a transmission selector. So automatic, manual, or manual with clutch if you have a racing wheel, or if you want to use one of the bumpers or something on the controller as a clutch, you can do that too. Clutch simulation is still not really on par with simulation grade physics, but it's there, so it's a good start. We're going to stick with manual for now, and then also this is the suspension setup thing that uses the configuration files I was talking about earlier. So you can change a lot of different things here, and in case you screw anything up, you can just click reset default, and it'll put everything back where it was. But I guess we're good on the settings, so let's just go for a drive. And I'm gonna pick Honda. There we go. Another thing with the controller, this cursor does not go away. This is part of the pause menu UI, so I'll fix it later, I promise. So we're just going to hide this behind me. We're going to start the car up, and let's go into first person, because it'll be cool to see with the racing wheel here. So I'm just going to go ahead and launch it then. So there is 4 force feedback implemented, but it's not perfect. Like it's enough for something kind of between arcade and simulation field. But yeah, it's definitely fun. Yeah, the force feedback is set at its highest setting right now, so the wheel will kind of throw itself around a lot. I think it's all part of it. So yeah, I will say playing Corona MotorSport with a racing wheel is a lot more fun than keyboard or controller. So if you have a G29 or any other racing wheel like that, definitely recommend plugging in and try it out. I don't really play much sim racing these days, so please don't judge me if I try that shit. But yeah. There's also this new camera angle it added in for people that want to play with racing wheels or just want to have this camera angle. It's a little more immersive, honestly. Another thing I want to add support for down the road is like a triple monitor setup or something like that, which I think in theory, if you do it with the NVIDIA surround stuff, it should just kind of work out of the box, but I don't think the frame will be too great, so there's some optimization on it. Just missed that frame. Probably hear the force feedback whirring in the background, but I wish I had an extra camera to show the wheel, but but yeah. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and bring it down to a stop here. There we go. And then we're going to go back to the main menu. So another thing with the steering wheel UI is that well, when you pause the game, it sets the timescale to 0, and then it doesn't update the cursor movement. So there's that problem. So we're just going to go ahead and go to the main menu. Alright, and then I guess I could show you guys what's new with the AI system. So it's a little more improved, but it still has a lot of problems on its own. But I suppose we can do a race with with a racing wheel just to see what it's like. So I'm gonna pick that one, and bring the manual again, and we're gonna go to Barcelona. Three other cars to race against right now. Yeah, looks like they already crashed into each other. Nice. Crashed into me too. Yeah, so the AI still has a lot of problems. We're trying our best to fix it. Kind of strange. Sometimes they behave erratically, sometimes they don't. It just kind of depends on how many cars are on the track. They're really defensive. That's one of the people in Charlotte also, but besides that. Also, another issue is that the vehicles are supposed to randomly be assigned. The vehicles are supposed to be randomly assigned colors when the game loads, and some of the AI cars so that's another thing I gotta fix. Other than that, this game is definitely coming along. And I'm excited for you guys to actually be able to try it out and tear it apart like we did last time. So. Definitely start breaking through. showed it to you guys in the last video, but let's just go ahead as far as we can here. So there we go. That caused some suspension damage. So basically, the self-aligning torque on the wheel has calculated that this is the new setting of the wheel right now. And this will be pretty fun to mess with. Also, there's feedback for different changes in the suspension travel to kind of simulate going over bumps and stuff. If you crash into something, there is also a crash effect. So, like I said, kind of between arcade and simulation stuff. Yeah, we'll just keep improving from here. There we go. So I think we've caused a significant amount of damage to this car. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much where we're at right now. Let's just go ahead and go back to keep the pause menu. So yeah, this is kind of where it's at right now. I'm estimating maybe another 4 weeks at most before this game is done from the time this video is published, because I'm going back to college pretty soon, and I'm not really going to have as much time as I would like to work on this, because it is my final year. But yeah, I mean, I'd say probably about 4 more weeks, hopefully. I mean, don't hold me to it, but there's really not much left to do. And for those of you that have stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. And for people that came from Shiny Odd and the other corners of the internet, thanks for sticking around too. But if you like what you see, let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions, feedback, positive or negative, I don't care. Just let me know, and I'll keep improving this. But yeah, until next time, guys.